Boom! Boom! Damn! It's all over. It's all over. Don't cry, don't beg. It's all over. Woo!
I think Alabi's fake.
Woo!
The way Alabi's been moving, I feel like she's more wanted to be here than she's with me.
You just make me grief.
Ciao, not Scott and Abby, man. I don't know what it is, but I just wanted Scott to remain in this competition. Maybe because, you know, I did speak to his brother, but at the same time, child, they had to go. They weren't a couple. They were not compatible. So it's interesting with Catherine being dumped. You know, it also ended Scott's journey on Love Island as well. Hey guys, it's Rob and Roddy. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Back again with another video. If you have not subscribed, guys, click that button. It is daily and consistent content. Inject it, click that button and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And let's get into this intense, chaotic, up and down kind of episode. Before we do, I'm honored to be voted at the MBCC Awards for Role Model of the Year. Please go and vote. The link is in the bio below and it will also be in the pinned comment. Takes 2 minutes, click the link, go right down to that category, find my name, child, and vote me. I would really appreciate it, and thank you to so many of you that have. Now, when it comes to my Love Island finale event, the goodie bags are really goodieing. Do you understand? I've got good products from sponsors that have come on board, and we still have more on the way. It's going to be lit. It is sold out, and it has been sold out. It sold out in 4 days. I really did not expect it. However, I am opening a 4th round of tickets. Be fast, because there's not going to be many of them, because it's already, the venue is already at capacity. So adding just a little bit more, because I know people are trying to come and they've asked and etc. So more have been added. So do click the link in the bio below for the 4th round tickets. Just be quick, child. Anyways, let's get into this. Scott and Abby have been dumped. You know, I kind of expected this to be the case. They were never a couple. He actually ended it with Abby, or she ended it with him, whatever you want to call it. He kind of deaded the situation and felt like he had a weight off his shoulders. So that happened, and then they had to vote. Evidently, Scott and Abby were going to be the easiest option, and they were going to be the easiest option whether he ended it with her or not. So clearly he just was not into her, and he was kind of leading her along, but at the same time, it's not like there was anybody else when it comes to that conversation. So I just feel like Abby is not understanding of emotional awareness of how she comes across sometimes in conversations and what she can do wrong. I felt like she didn't really, you know, say to Mitch, you know, or understand that she was similarly speaking to Scott at one point, and Mitch was speaking to LB. Like she just was not understanding that. And also as time goes on, she's just not as aware. So, but I'm glad that Abby's gone, because this Scott, Abby, LB, Mitch storyline is tired, boring, and stale, and I'm over it. Now, before we continue this, people have been in my DMs saying, Rah, there's a fake Twitter account. I'm not tweeting about Love Island this year, because I just feel like it's just a lot with Love Island Winter. This Love Island, some of the episodes I can't watch live because of work, because I've been traveling. So, you know, it just makes it easier just to watch it up on catch up in my own time, not watch the ads. It's just like you save so much time. But somebody has made a fake account of me and is tweeting anti-Whitney tweets. It's fake, guys. I'm not on Twitter. My account is still there, but you know, I haven't been on Twitter. And honestly, it's saved me so much time and better energy, and I love not being on that app. But I mean, I use it to read the news, but that's really it. That's what I've always done. Outside of Love Island, I've never actually tweeted anyways. But somebody make a fake account with my profile name, or the name is Luke, putting out anti-Whitney tweets. They want the public to assume that I hate Whitney, being a Love Island, you know, reviewer. And of course, many people know me reviewing the show. So that could convince them that if I don't like Whitney, maybe they shouldn't like Whitney, and therefore it would damage her winning the show. It's very careful what these people are doing. It's very sly, sorry, and it's just another reminder that the Love Island stan nonsense that people have bred when it comes to Love Island over the last 5 years is just so dumbfounded, illogical, and seek help, child. Because who's got time to make fake accounts of somebody pretending that I don't like Whitney when I've supported her from the day that she's got into the villa, day 3, and I think that she's absolutely carried this entire season, and she has to win the show so that it could convince people not to vote for her, because I'm apparently saying disgusting, calling her out. It's not me, child. I'm not tweeting anti-Whitney tweets. I'm very much in wanting Whitney to win. So if you see that nonsense, it's not me. So I don't know who's got time to be doing that. Like, surely you should be using these skills to work in tech and actually get a job and get paid, because what you're doing is just, I don't know what it is. It's just weird to me. Like, who got time? I don't understand. But Whitney needs to win, because I feel like her and Ekansu are quite similar in that they both came in on day 3 and they revitalized the season in ways that I didn't even expect. I feel like Ekansu, the way she had this kind of like, you know, personality, crawling around on the floor, going back and forth with Davide, dragging Jay, it was enticing to us continuously. And I feel like Whitney is also the same, and that she came in, these slogans, it's giving this, it's giving that, you know, the realism that she was showing as well. She wasn't afraid to say XYZ about people, and her and Mehdi going back and forth. She remained composed, she was very comical. And so I feel like if Ekansu could win the show, why can't Whitney? I feel like both of them revitalized their seasons once they immediately came in and were very strong bombshells early on also is key. And I think Whitney deserves to win, and she has to take that crown. So when we are at my finale event and they say Whitney unlock him, when they say that name, I'm gonna start doing break dancing, cartwheeling. I'm gonna go mad. Do you understand? We're all gonna just go mad. I don't want anybody doing alcohol on me. I don't drink, please. But at the same time, it's the way I'm gonna just start, the way I'm gonna go mad. The gun finger's already up. I cannot wait to that day on Monday when Whitney is announced as the winner. I just can't wait. She has to win this season. She just has to win. Whitney and Ty had that tension, and you know, it's very easy for you to disrespect somebody and then come and say sorry the minute it's happened. But at the same time, I do think people can make mistakes, and I feel like Ty was genuine in his apology towards Lockham and also to Whitney, but Whitney wasn't in a space to hear it because she just been disrespected. You can't disrespect somebody and then immediately come up to them and say, let's talk, I want to say sorry. That person is hurt, then they're not in that right space. They don't want to be in that space with you. Give them time. And that's what she said. She said, we'll talk tonight, but just give me time, child. And they ended up speaking, and you know, of course it was all solved and he went to apologize. That was the only thing that he could have done, because I feel like that behavior is wayward. Not only are you shushing somebody else's girl, but your girl is sitting right next to you. So what would you even be doing to her if that's how you're treating other girls that are not even your girl? Like, that is to me, that is a red flag. Ella should take that as a red flag, but she was mute in that entire situation from what we've seen. She didn't say anything. She didn't really defend Whitney in that moment when we all know that Ty was wrong. And also when Ella and Whitney had their moment, I don't see Ella apologizing to Whitney. It was only Whitney that was saying sorry. So these to me are red flags for the future. I don't mean future 2 months after they get out. I'm talking about a year or two after they get out, because a lot of Islanders end up being tight and then fade away. We've seen trios on Love Island who go on the show who are the trio friendship, but then once they come out, you don't actually see them together with any of that trio ever again because of things like this that you begin to see as cracks. That's just how I see it, and I feel like Tyreek even coming at Whitney like that, the choice, the fact that you made that choice means that you've done that before, and I think it's very unnecessary. I feel like there is a lot of disrespect towards women these days, and Whitney is right, it is disrespectful, especially if you are friends with somebody. Hold me in high regard as a friend. Disrespect is a lot, and if you disrespected me once and I've allowed it, then shame on me when you do it again twice, because I allowed it the first time. So I'm glad that he said sorry and they squashed it and they called it a day, because Ty and Whitney are great friends anyway, so he's not even that deep. So I'm glad that they just, I mean, it is deep, I'm glad that they just moved on with it. Mitch and Scott clearly, listen, let's get into Scott for a minute, because he obviously was frustrated in that conversation, saying, you know what, everyone's thought I was a game player from day one. I'm not going to take somebody out to Maldives or say that I'm going to the next day 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's probably why I assumed that he was a game player when he first came in, because we're used to men love bombing. Men love bomb a lot on Love Island, and they've been doing it. And then when it comes Casa Amor, they bring back a different girl. When it comes this is that, no. So because we're so used to that behavior, and I know I am watching the show and reviewing it for so many years, I just assume that if somebody's so laid back and not really showing much from what we can see, maybe he's not into that girl. Maybe he's biding his time. Maybe he's waiting for a better bombshell to come in. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like either they love bomb and U-turn, which is what we normally see, or when somebody's really laid back with somebody, it doesn't look like, that he's into them as much. So he's just very different to everybody else, and we have to remember that. I don't think that Scott has been a game player now. I think that initially I did. I think when it comes to the show, people are very confused with if you change your opinion. We all change our opinions every single day. It is a game show. You get new information presented to you. I don't understand. Like, I know people who seriously disliked contestants when they first came on and were absolutely in love with them by the end of the show. And that's absolutely fine because you're seeing the episodes as time goes on. You are allowed to change your mind. That's absolutely fine. That is normal. So it's very confusing to me when people pull that up as a point because it's continuously flawed anyways. Also, an interesting point, islanders who come on the show who are hated and then are loved at the end, their character hasn't progressed. They haven't evolved. They haven't developed. It's we as viewers who are seeing them in different lights, and different, faces that they show and etc. I don't think somebody can evolve in 2 months for us to see like, wow. And I feel like I keep seeing it like that as a character development, but it's not actually a development, if we make sense, a random point. But I think that Scott is frustrated with that. I don't think that he's played Abby. I feel like he's tried to get to know her, but at the same time, it wasn't there as much as it may have been with other girls in the show. So, it did end up with him leading her on, but also at the same time, it's not like there were any other options there for both Abby or Scott. They both tried, and they both just got the short end of the stick. Unfortunately, Ellaby also wasn't into Scott either. I feel like Scott and Catherine, now that he's been dumped, will probably have some kind of conversation and see if they can reunite with things. Because I don't know about you guys, but, I follow Catherine, she follows me, but I don't see Catherine and Elon a lot together post coming out of the villa. Not that Elon's a bad guy, but I just haven't seen them together, and clearly there may not be as chemistry there. Who knows? I just feel like if Scott and Catherine were still together, I would have then understood that it was real from Scott's side, as with a lot of viewers who are also in the same boat as me, and they would definitely have been in that finale. But it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Whitney unlocked him to win. I announced a week ago that I'm officially supporting them as the couple. Molly and Zach, let's get into that, child. Molly and Zach in the bottom 3. Damn, that means a lot of people are not convinced by this relationship. They're quite confused by it. I know it's a shock to Molly as well. I do feel like they generally do like each other, but to me, it looks like Molly likes him more. That's just how I see it. But, only time will tell when it comes to these relationships, if they are genuine or not on the outside of the villa. But it must have been a shock for them as well that they were in the bottom 2. They put bottom 3. They did not expect that at all, but they obviously were not going to go home. Yeah. I did want Scott to continue in this competition, but he didn't have anyone as a partner. Post Catherine leaving, it is quite poetic that Catherine's dumping on the show. People are like, damn, she fumbled the bag. Damn, she fumbled the bag. She messed up. If she was still with Scott, she would still be in the finale. But that also affects Scott as well. Scott also, to somewhat an extent, fumbled his bag by Catherine being dumped, because it also foreshadowed the ending of his journey, because there was nobody else post Catherine being dumped that was actually compatible for Scott. Otherwise, they would have zoomed to that finale, but we didn't see anybody else have that connection in there with him. So unbeknownst to him, when she got dumped, that basically was his ending as well. Call it Shakespeare, child, at this point. And he ended up being dumped because it didn't work with Abby. It didn't work with anybody in Casa Amor. It didn't work with anybody else in between. There was just nothing going on. He was just on his own for a while. So very interesting to say the least. Will these guys reunite? I feel like they should have conversations, and we'll just see where it goes from there. But don't force it, child. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Click that button. It is daily and consistent content. I would appreciate it. Click that button and subscribe. Head over to my Instagram at Murad_Morali. Vote. I would appreciate it. Please do vote for me. And if you want to buy tickets, there's the 4th round there. It's already at capacity, so just beware that buying these last minute tickets is going to be a lot. But whether we're all packed in the event or not, I don't give a damn, because I just can't wait for us all to be there and watch Whitney win. Anyways, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon for another review.